Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll continue on with our faction recommendations and tips section. We're continuing on with the Orks, and we're moving on to discuss the Mega Nobz here. They're definitely an incredibly powerful unit, but they are pretty expensive for only having 3 units. I tend to find that I like the Nobz a little bit more than the Mega Nobz, just because they tend to be able to tank a lot more hits. But let's discuss these guys with all their specifics, and then I'll bring around the Nobz here with that to have a baseline cost of 110, and then you can get them power claws for 130 versus the 155 for the default setup for the Mega Nobz here, and see if you guys disagree, and certainly if you do, let me know and tell me if I'm just using them wrong when I'm playing. Now, the nice thing about these is they do have 3 different weapon kits. But before I get started, if you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. So like I said, the Mega Nobz, they cost 155 for their baseline setup. You have 3 models, each with 150 health. They have 1 action point, 3 movement, 7 armor, and -10 evasion. So pretty much if you shoot these guys and there's nothing in your way, you're probably going to hit them. They are considered an elite unit, just like the other purple forces here. And their basic weapon is the custom shooter. It has 20 attacks, each one doing 3 to 5, with an armor piercing of 2, with an optimal range of 2, and a base accuracy of 90 at that range 2. And for each tile that's off of the optimal range of 2, the accuracy falls by 10%. So this definitely allows them to do good damage at range to anything that's weakly armored, which is one of the biggest things that makes them different from the Nobz. And then they also, with their custom setup, have the kill saws, and it has 1 attack. Each one does 45 to 60 damage, and it has a splash damage of 13 to 18 damage times 4, and this has an armor piercing of 8 and a melee accuracy of 95%. So pretty much what they're going to hit in melee, they're going to kill, and they're going to be able to splash damage a lot of stuff, allowing them to really just cut through a lot of weak units that are in front of them, especially low tier Tyranids is something they're exceptionally good at, or running in and attacking Necrons that have resurrected that are weak, and then you're going to be able to splash around and finish them off. That definitely works out really well for them. They have the Hit 'em Harder ability, which increases their melee accuracy by 10%, their melee damage by 25%, and in return they get plus 5% damage received, melee damage received, and it lasts for 1 turn, has a 3-turn cooldown. And they also have the Mob Rule ability, which gives them plus 10% momentum gains, so that's definitely very beneficial. So these guys are quite good. Now, once you start to get to some of their other variants though, you rapidly start to increase their cost, but they also end up getting a free attack is effectively what the trade-off is. So their second weapon here is the combi rockets. Each one has 1 attack. It does 30 to 40 damage. It has a splash damage of 18 to 24 times 5. So pretty much these are meant to be taking out weak, massive squad swarms of units here. It has an armor piercing of 4, so it can even do damage to, medium armored units. It has an optimal range of 4, so it gives them more of a range here. The accuracy does fall off by 10 per tile for every tile that's away from the optimal range of 4. Unfortunately, it only has 1 ammunition, meaning that once you use that ranged attack, you have to wait 2 turns for them to reload it and get another attack. So it gets to be very frustrating. These rockets are pretty much the only weapon in the game that has a reload time, which definitely hampers my usage of this. And it also costs 35, so now you're effectively paying 190 for a unit that has ranged attacks that can use it every 2 turns to get this attack. But in exchange, you do get the shooter component, since these are combi weapons. And the combi weapon, it has a cost of 0, so therefore you get a free attack with this. Obviously, this still costs the your action point, but the combi attack does not. It has 16 attacks, it does 3 to 4 damage, armor piercing of 2, optimal range of 2, base accuracy of 80, and the accuracy falls off 10 per tile, and you can use it every 2 turns. And then they have the default kill saw still, so these are the same melee weapon that you saw with the default loadout. Now, the other option that you have is the Combi Scorcha. So this effectively gives them a flamer, which will allow you to do quite a bit of damage, and it is a heavy flamer, so you now have a range of 2. It does 6 attacks for 3 to 6 with an armor piercing of 3, and like I said, it has the optimal range of 1, but flamers always hit at 100% accuracy. And you can do a range of 2 with this to flame 2 low tier units in front of you to allow you to get some nice easy kills for any weak units, because if they're weak you probably don't want to attack them with the kill saws. You can certainly kill a lot of units doing that, but this is great for taking care of all your medium and heavies, or you know, some termagants, hormagants, things that are in front of you, maybe even some gene stealers. However, if you're gonna get, if they have less than 18 to 30 health, then, and that's with each one of these attacks, then you may actually want to use the Combi Scorcher just to flame through and keep pushing, and then use these guys to lock other units down. Now, because they have an armor of 7, they can definitely tank hits, but the big downside to these guys compared to the Nobz, in my opinion, is the fact that there's only the 3 models here. So things like you know, the fusion blasters with the Tau, the hell blasters with the heavy incinerators, pretty much anything that can do high damage to high armor is going to kill one of these models here, whereas at least with the Nobz here, even at their full maximum cost at 130, you can still get their splash damage here. Now, it's nothing compared to the Mega Nobz, and the Mega Nobz will definitely do more damage than the Nobz do, but you can get so many more of these Nobz with, and then by stacking up the bonuses with the other units, you can really make them just go nuts. So the big way that you want to use these guys is pretty much taking care of any high value target. These guys can assassinate enemy HQ units. They do a ton of damage in melee, obviously. They can kill bloodthirsters. They can do anti-vehicle. You, with all this splash damage, pretty much if you use their hit them harder and then you use this, you can wipe out a squad of medium tier infantry like the assault marines, or almost, I think they can just about kill, if not outright kill, the Hellblasters too if you do that, especially if they get rear attacks. So you can just mess a lot of guys up here, and then trying to get out of their zone of control, taking all these hits with the kill saws, definitely a bad time. So if you can get these, all 3 of these guys to lock guys into combat, they can then take hits and really lock down a lot of forces to do a lot of good work for you here. And then when you do use the Combi Scorcha, you still have access to the Shuda. I just want to point that out in case that was not obvious here. And these guys do get the bonuses from everybody else, so you know, you can end up giving them the bosses watching to increase plus 10 melee and 15 plus 10 melee accuracy and 15% melee damage, and you can then have the Pain Boys around there to end up giving 15% bonus damage. You could have the big mech around, and then all of a sudden give them, you know, the 10% range damage received to help further. And if things don't bug out, you could also potentially use the Weird Boys to then use the Warpath, which will then give minus 10% damage received and plus 15% damage as well. So that's how you get these guys to just pretty much overkill everything here. So we'll try to get them all, show the different variants here, and try to show you what their abilities are like when you can overcharge them here. But those are kind of the main ways of doing this. The other thing that I occasionally see people do that I think is actually a bad way of using them is sometimes they'll just plop them down on a strategic point, because these guys can be a real pain in the ass to kill, to take that point back. But then at 155 points, assuming you haven't used these other loadouts, it's a very expensive way for you to lock down a strategic point, when a Gretchen for, you know, 35 points may work just as well, assuming the unit attacking them doesn't have some sort of like flamer attack that's going to allow them to quickly get through there. Because even, you know, having assault marines, you know, kill 3 or 4, maybe even 5 models, you know, it's going to take them 2 turns to get through here, and that's a lot of points that they tied up, whereas these guys can sometimes be a little bit rougher here. So we will do a match here with 1500 points. Maybe what I'll do is I'll get rid of one of these guys, and we'll bring a Weird Boy with us too, and see if they've kind of fixed this thing bugging out a little bit here, because it's been a while since I've played one of these matches here. So we'll save the army. Oops. And we'll do the Imperial Ruins, because again, that tends to make it just be the fastest way of getting through here. We'll do the Orks at 1500. And I think last time we did Necron, so I guess we're going to be playing against the Adeptus Sororitas, which can be kind of a rough matchup for the Orks, because when they start stacking up all the damage, then they get that evasion, which can definitely nullify the Orks. So this would not be a recommended force that I'd recommend using against the Adeptus Sororitas, but let's play around and see what we can do here. So let's just move these guys to the front. Bring you there. And these guys can come around the side, I guess. And I guess we can have the Weird Boy be our commander here.
Orks always win, even when we don't. Let's get moving.
Yeah, the other bad thing about them is, as you can see, they are quite slow when you're moving them around, because they're supposed to be this super heavy armored unit.
Ready as sore bones.
And therefore, they can't go too far. So it definitely can be a little bit difficult to get them to where you want them to be, compared to the Nobz. Because once you start to take the Nobz into consideration with all their models,
moving closer to the scrap.
at times they can actually feel like there's more of them there, and therefore have more health. Oop, shit, forgot about these other Gretchen. So kind of a sloppy setup that I'm doing here, but we'll see what happens. So he's going Arcoflagellants. Sit back there with his Exorcist.
Orks always win, even when we don't.
Alright, so which ones do we got over here? Got the Kill Saws, Custom Shooters. So here's the Scorcha here. So, those ones have the bolt pistol, so not the end of the world. But you know, see, these guys would be sometimes difficult to deal with, but let's just do Convi Scorcha here. Cut through them. Killed all of them. And now we can shoot into these Retributors if we wanted to, which I suspect I'm going to. Maybe not. Alright, well, here's what we're gonna do. Combi Rocket here. Boom. Combi Rocket here. Probably should use two on the same one.
The old ways is best.
Alright, let's try to stack everything here.
He's with us.
Alright, run you down here. Run you down here.
Let's get moving.
They missed. I can't believe you missed.
Orks always win, even when we don't. Okay, you little runt. Go on, have a nibble.
Alright, well, you are my rockets. So let's just run you up.
Ready as sore bones. I think I can stitch that back. What needs killing?
Run you guys over here. And then, I guess we're just going to shoot into here. So yeah, it's literally just the same missiles that you just saw me use on the other ones here. And they can't reach the attacks.
Ready to bust the boys.
But what we can do is just come up here
This is the line.
and smack there.
We was made to
Turn
fight,
you a little bit.
so let's fight. Don't bother us.
Try to run you up a little bit to get some bonus health.
Ready as sore bones.
Run you up to try to get you a little bonus health. Move you guys to just body block and try to protect our weird boys. Or not our weird boys, our So that's kind of an idea of how you would use these guys here. You know, we're doing some damage to the Retributors here. They've got their heavy bolters. It was a little bit sloppy. I suppose the other option that I could do is... I don't think I'm going to be able to get far enough over. I was going to say maybe I would go after the Sisters Repentia because they're going to mess me up. But you are not going to be able to get there.
Feel a thing. Is that all you got? What a pathetic little center. Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Yep. Very sloppy. But you can see, like, they can't even really do damage against these guys. And now your Combi Scorch is back up again, so we can attack here. You know, it's a heavy flamer, so it does quite a bit of damage, as you can see. And this is still reloading, so it's not really able to do a whole lot for us. But we'll do that, because I need these guys to die. Because as you can see, they just do so much single target damage against us. Well, and this is the one downside to them, is it's profoundly overkilling.
It's our time.
Alright, well, it can attack here. They're down.
Move in and lead
Oh shit, he already attacked. My bad.
Orks always win, even when we don't.
Alright, let's pull you back.
Let's get moving. Oh, Nobz, you's looking at me. This may sting you, if you say so. I've got a cunning plan. What now? What now?
Let's see here. I think all these ones are bolt pistols, right? Yeah, so really it's the Retributors that I would like to kill ideally. Let's just do that, I guess. Try to blind them.
Ready as sore bones.
Bring you over there. And what they're going to effectively do is just grenade these guys, I suspect.
What needs killing? Don't bother us. Something over there. Useful for bombs. Right through the armor.
Yowza. Alright, so now you can see that the combi rocket is back up again after it had reloaded. So definitely pretty frustrating compared to these guys. Let's see here. I guess if I kill those ones.
Ready to bust the boys. Don't bother us.
Move you over there.
Ready to go. What now?
Let's get you here.
Moving and leading. Moving closer.
Bring you down to here. But as you can see, it's like, well, those rockets aren't great, whereas if you just use your ability here, you can obviously kill somebody. So I just don't find that those rockets are typically worth it. Now, one thing that can be, like I said, worth it is if you're going to end up using these combi. This will be the flamer, and when you're doing them at their angle there, you can see that you don't get a 100% hit chance there. And if you can empower them, the only thing that really gets empowered is the hit them harder, which increases the melee accuracy and their damage by 40%, and you get a one-turn cooldown, so it just kind of expedites everything for you. So definitely a nice ability. Nothing to sneeze at. Alright, pull you back. Bring you up here. Yeah, I was curious if the shooters are going to get empowered. I didn't think they did, but I wasn't 100% sure, to be honest. And I suppose if you were smart and you knew you were going to do that, you could have done the hit 'em martyr first, and then you would have 2 turns with the hit 'em martyr as well. Would have been an alternative way of doing this. Or I could have done that, whatever. There's lots of ways that we could have done that. But these guys are definitely beasts, as you can see here. You can do a ton of damage with them. And against low tier units, they are definitely difficult to deal with. And when you're fighting them, you want to make sure that they're your highest priority to kill as well. But as you can see, you know, all these guys here, they're typically gonna... What? I guess I pulled them too far away from my pain boy. That's unfortunate.
Cyborg legs ready to go.
I was gonna say, that one's right here. I'm not sure why it's not going. I'll run you up here.
Don't bother us.
Who hasn't
It's
done
our
anything?
time.
I guess probably you, huh?
What
Fine.
is it? What needs killing?
So it's like we'll bring these guys over here and we'll smack them. And even without using the hit of martyr, as you can see, they can take everybody out. So they do great damage at kill, and they can kill pretty much anything they go after. So in that way, they're better than the Nobz. But when you're doing this, you're trading off the movement.
Ready to saw bones.
And their survivability, because if they spread the damage amongst all these guys, then you can use your pain boys to heal them up, and then all that bonus HP does great things for you.
Don't they know who we are? Sure thing, boss. Ready to force the boys.
Alright, so now we've got that locked down. Oh, why'd I run you that way?
Orks always win, even when we don't.
Because we've now got it effectively locked down, so there's really no benefit to coming from this direction anymore.
If you say so, sure thing, boss. The old ways.
Let's get the blind going, because he's going to be able to start smacking us. So we've got that. Alright, let's see this. Yep, so it's working. So everything's stacking again. Excellent.
Saw bones. Boys coming closer. You're making us mad. What needs killing?
I can't believe they killed my guys like that. Alright. Let's do a little bit of that. And let's charge in.
Want to test this saw out?
So 190 is what he did.
Let's get
Obviously these guys would
moving.
be doing way more. So that would be 48 to 65 times 5, so as you can see they do quite a bit more, it's just the lack of splash damage. So, a very powerful weapon, or unit I should say. So they definitely have great uses. They're not bad units, it's just they're hard to keep alive. But perhaps if you didn't want to do like, you were going to be in some sort of tight quarters, as you can see they can pretty much kill anything that they get in contact with as long as they have that splash damage and they land the attacks. Nothing's worse than you miss the attacks on them, and they can take the hits. So it's not that they're a bad use of points, it's just I usually don't have a luxury where I'm playing a 3,000 point battle where I'm going to be able to bring all these guys in, and I tend to enjoy using the regular Nobz a little bit more just because, again, they have more models, I can heal them regularly, they do good damage, and I don't regularly need the splash damage. But you know, again, Space Marines, the Adeptus Sororitas that have not lots of models in their group, they definitely can do great things for you. Against those Arcoflagellants and things, you know, they can sometimes be a pain in the butt because even with the ×4 splash, you know, you're not killing all those models, but, you know, as you saw against the heavier Retributors, if you're fighting the Canonesses, the Sister Superiors, any sort of vehicle, you know, they'll definitely be able to chop down, and if they have weapons that can't do armor piercing, like the Sisters of Battle, if they're not using the Blessed Ammo, the bolt pistols, any of those things, the Nobz are definitely going to do a bunch. The Mega Nobz are going to definitely be able to take the hit and keep going. Again, because they only have 3 models though, anything that has splash and armor piercing against them is going to easily kill those units compared to the Nobz where they can just keep going. So again, I guess it's just a preference issue, but for the increased movement, the reduced cost, the increased survivability, and excluding the splash, the equivalent damage pretty much with the ability, and then all the mob rules stacking on the units as well. I just find that I'd rather have more of the Nobz than the Mega Nobz. I hate the rocket launcher for the reasons that showed there. It's like, okay, I got 1 attack, I shoot, it misses regularly. I now got 2 turns, I gotta wait for it to go, and then I have a 2-turn cooldown on my shooter, whereas my default Nobz are gonna end up having, you know, the option to just use a regular shooter every turn, which is does less damage, but it doesn't matter, and the melee weapons are the same. Like I said, the main thing is if you are going to upgrade the weapon, typically you're going to want to use the Combi Scorcha, just because it is a heavy flamer. You can get tons of kills with it. You can stack up their momentum very easily with that, assuming you're fighting guys that are going to be flammable. And obviously if there's HQ units and things like that, you're not going to be flaming those, but you're going to have your kill sauce to do massive amounts of single target damage anyways, so there's no reason that you'd want to do it. So they could potentially be good against things like Chaos. However, Chaos can counter them pretty easily because all their units have the armor piercing, so they can get the counter damage. So it's a great niche unit, and if you have the luxury of bringing them, they can do great things for you, but for the most part, I find that they just kind of die too much. You know, if you're fighting the Space Marines, they'll throw a bunch of crack grenades on your face, they'll get around you, get rear attacks, and have the chain swords that can do damage to them. You know, a heavy plasma incinerator is going to pretty much be able to kill one of those models every turn, which is a big bummer, whereas if you have the Nobz, it's going to take them 5 turns to effectively kill all those units. Same thing with the Tau, but the good side when they're killing Tau is they can just have all that splash damage, and Tau usually don't have a lot of health. So again, whatever your preference is, I think it's a hard way to go wrong. I tend to favor the Nobz, but you can definitely make a strong argument for the Mega Nobz as long as you don't bring the rocket launchers, because I've never seen a match where it's paid off. I found that it's just cost you way too many resources, and when the opponents bring them, they just never get enough payoff. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.